So even nature itself shows us the importance of preparation. It says, look to the ant, thou sluggard. Meaning you have to compare yourself to the ant. And what characteristics do ants possess that we may not possess? Here is calling us sluggards, meaning lazy, slothful. So these are things to where the Lord, he's trying to show us where we lack. That's why he tells us to look at the ant. The ant is prepared. We got to be prepared too. It's good to see everybody this Sabbath. Got a fairly decent class for y'all. Hopefully y'all learned something and it is edifying. Hey, IT, were we able to get that thumbnail? So the name of this class is called When Famine Strikes, Will You Be Ready? When famine strikes, will you be ready? All right, I got my reader, Soldier Nehemiah. And we are going to begin where we always begin, in the book of Romans, chapter 15 and verse 4.
Romans chapter 15 and verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
So everything in this Bible was written for us to have comfort. Comfort from what? Comfort from trials, from tribulation, the things that plague us, not just today, but the things that plagued us back then. We learn from our foremothers and forefathers the things that they went through and how they handled things, and we learn from that, and that's how we conduct ourselves, right? Now, from there, get me the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 5 and verse 42.
2nd Ezra chapter 5 and verse 42. And he said unto me, I will liken my judgment unto a ring.
Stop. So it says that he likened his judgments to a ring. IT? All right. So as you can see, a ring is continuous, right? So the Most High said that he likened his judgments to a ring. Read.
Like as there is no slackness of the last, even so there is no swiftness of the first.
So just like in the past, the things that happen, for example, the pestilences, the plagues, the famine, the things that happened back then, guess what? They're going to happen again, all right? The judgments are continuous. That's just like in the book of Deuteronomy, the curses that happened back then, guess what? We're still reliving those curses over and over and over again. That's what that's going into. He likened his judgments as a ring, all right? It's continuous. And it could potentially be multiple times, not just twice, but as you can see, it's never ending, right? But we understand that there will be an end to these judgments when Christ returns, all right? So from there, let's get the definition of famine. I'm going to just read it because I don't think I gave it to you all. So the definition of famine, it's a severe shortage or lack of food and resources that causes hunger and distress among a people. All right, so a severe shortage or lack of food and resources that causes hunger and distress among a people. So we also know that famine, it could also be where prices go so drastically high or are increased to where you don't have the financial means or the resources to be able to afford it. That's another type of famine, which we saw, I want to say, during the COVID pandemic. And also, I want to say that was last year or earlier this year, when the price of eggs and things like that had went up. So let's get a scripture. Get the book of Genesis chapter 41 and verse 54. Let's see how our forefathers dealt with things during their time. So this is an example of judgments like a ring. Read what you got.
Genesis chapter 41 and verse 54.
Let's go.
And the 7 years of dearth began to come, according as Joseph had said. And the dearth was in all lands, but in all the land of Egypt there was bread.
All right, so during that time, Joseph, so remember, Joseph, he was put in the pit, he became a slave, and it was all God's plan. It was designed that one day he would rise up in the ranks of Pharaoh's court, and he would be in a position to help his brethren, to help his family, right? So during this time, there was 7 years of dearth, meaning 7 years of famine. Well, first there was the 7 years of plenty, where they actually had the time to prepare for what was about to come. Because if you all remember the dream that the Pharaoh had, Joseph deciphered the dream, and he discovered that there was going to be 7 years of plenty and 7 years of dearth, or 7 years of famine, right? Sort of like today. For years, our leadership, our bishops have been telling us to prepare. Get your pantries together. Prepare. There's a famine coming, right? So just like today, it happened back then. Joseph was in a position to help his people, and that's what he did. Hey, IT, pull up the pictures of the famine, the empty shelves. So I don't know if you all recall this. There was a limit on eggs, and also during COVID, somebody had bought up all the toilet paper. Y'all remember that? So these things happen for a reason. And a lot of times it happens to test us to see where we are. And back then, we could tell that we weren't ready for anything serious, right? So the Lord, he tests us, right? So that we can get ready. So that's what this class is about, is us getting ready and being prepared for when the famine actually hits. Then that's what it's going to be, right? $11 for some eggs. That in itself actually make you want to go and get some chickens, right? $11 for some eggs. All right. From there, we are going to look at the word pestilence. Pestilence. The definition for pestilence is a contagious or deadly disease, a plague sent by the Most High as a form of judgment or warning. Now, we also have experienced that, right? A pestilence, which is known as COVID-19, right? So during that time, a lot of things happened, right? You had to wear masks. You had to confine yourself at home. You couldn't be out in the streets. A lot of businesses were closed, and there wasn't really too much that you could do, right? But again, these things were sent by the Most High as judgments or warnings for us, right? Now, it's the same as a pandemic. Pull up that definition. I did send y'all that one. Pandemic. And you might read that. Can you see it? Yes, sir. All right.
Definition of pandemic: a widespread occurrence of an infectious disease over a whole country or the world at a particular time.
So we had a pandemic. So a pandemic and pestilence kind of goes hand in hand, right? Even though they say that COVID-19 was man-made and where was that, Wuhan, China? But we also understand that Esau can't do anything. No other nation can do anything without God's approval, right? So from there, give me the book of 2 Chronicles chapter 7 and verse 13. You're going to read 13 and 14.
2 Chronicles chapter 7 and verse 13.
Uh-huh.
If I shut up heaven that there be no rain, or if I command the locusts to devour the land, or if I send pestilence among my people.
If you do what?
Send pestilence among my people.
Uh-huh.
If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land.
So as we can see there, that the pestilences come from the Lord, right? Now, he says, if we shall humble ourselves. During that COVID time, we actually saw an influx of people actually wanting to be a part of IUIC and keep the commandments of God. So in essence, what the Lord was trying to do worked, right? And the thing is, it gave people time. It gave people the ability to be able to sit down and actually watch YouTube, watch social media. And from watching social media, they saw a video, and that led them down that rabbit hole like a lot of us did. Like when we first came in, all it takes is one video.
Come on!
So this is one of the ways that the Lord uses pestilences, plagues, pandemics to wake up his people and to humble them. All right?
Hey.
Give me the book of Hosea chapter 5 and verse 15.
Hosea chapter 5 and verse 15.
Let's go.
I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense and seek my face. In their affliction, they will seek me early.
So I always like to think that Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, are a glutton for punishment. It's like we are so stiff-necked and rebellious to where we don't want to hearken. Yeah, we don't want to listen. That's why the Lord has to continue to jack us up. He continues to send plagues and pestilences and famines. Why? Because he knows who he created. He created a stiff-necked and rebellious people. So as a result, he's going to afflict us. So we understand that through reading the Bible and going over the history of different pestilences and famines in the lands, that these things are going to happen again and again. From there, give me that in Matthew 24. Matthew 24 and 7. Because this is what Christ said.
Matthew chapter 24 and verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation.
And we're seeing that today. Nation is rising up against nation. You got Ukraine against Russia. You got Israel against Palestine. You see that going on today. So he says that nation will rise up against nation. Read.
And kingdom against kingdom.
And kingdom against kingdom. Read.
And there shall be famines.
There shall be what?
Famines. And pestilences. And earthquakes in diverse places.
So these are ways that the Lord, he's going to get our attention one way or the other. Since Jake didn't really want to listen or pay attention to the pestilences, he sent earthquakes. Yeah, what was that, in Haiti? And also storms. I don't know if y'all are paying attention to what's going on in Jamaica, but they label Jamaica a natural disaster area. He's trying to get our people's attention. And the way that he does it He does it by natural disasters, famines, pestilences. Why? To try to get them to wake up and see. Right? Now from there, get me the book of Ezekiel, chapter 5, verse 17.
Ezekiel chapter 5 and verse 17.
Come on.
So will I send upon you famine and evil beasts, and they shall bereave thee, and pestilence and blood shall pass through thee, and I will bring the sword upon thee. I, the Lord, have spoken it.
So this goes into judgment like a ring. It happens over and over and over again. And the Most High, he's using these things to wake up his people. From there, give me the book of Acts, because you all may say, well, that's the Old Testament. Let's see if that actually happened in the New Testament. Acts chapter 11, start at verse 25.
Acts chapter 11 and verse 25. Then departed Barnabas to Tarsus for to seek Saul. And when he had found him, he brought him unto Antioch. And it came to pass that a whole year they assembled themselves with the church and taught much people. Mm-hmm. And the disciples were called Christians first in Antioch. And in these days came prophets from Jerusalem unto Antioch. And there stood up one of them named Agabus, and signified by the Spirit that there should be great dearth throughout all the world.
So when the scripture talks about dearth, it's going into famine. It's going into like a lack of, right? So there was going to be a lack of resources, a lack of food during that time. All right, read on.
Which came to pass in the days of Claudius Caesar. Verse 29. Then the disciples, every man according to his ability, determined to send relief unto the brethren which dwelt in Judea, which also they did, and sent it to the elders by the hands of Barnabas and Saul.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, was that 30? So, as you can see, during those troubling times, when there was a lack of food in Judea, the apostles got together and they actually gathered the people and they sent supplies, food, rations to the people in Judea. So just like sort of what we're doing today, right? We have a pantry and we're stocking up food. Why? Because we understand that God's judgments are like a ring. These things are going to happen. So we have to be prepared in case something like that happens, right? Now, we're doing it, but what are you all doing? So the name of the class is, when famine strikes, will you be ready? Will you be ready? That's what you have to ask yourself. How many of y'all have pantries? I guess the better question is, how many of y'all don't have pantries? Okay. So our leadership, they have been telling these things for years. Right. And we can actually go off of the signs of what's happening in the world. For example, when the truck drivers went on strike, how many of y'all remember that? And there was a lot of things to where you couldn't find in the stores. Y'all don't think that could happen again? All right, I'm just saying. Yeah, we got to be mindful. These classes that the leadership is doing, it's to make people aware so that you all can act on it. Give me the book of Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 29.
Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 29. Oh, that they were wise, that they understood this, that they would consider their latter end.
That's Deuteronomy 32, 39.
Verse 39. See now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand.
So we understand that the Lord, he kills, he wounds, he makes alive, right? But the thing is this, you don't want it to come when you are not prepared. Why? Because he sent his prophets warning us that these things were going to come to pass. But a lot of us are not going to act on it. A lot of us are not going to act on it. And there's examples of that in the scriptures. Drop that. Give me Luke 21:20. So watch this. There's examples of the people being warned, and a lot of people did not listen. You read what you got.
Luke chapter 21 and verse 20. And when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh.
So Christ warned the people. He says that when you see Jerusalem surrounded with armies, read.
Then know that the desolation thereof is nigh.
That the destruction is soon to come. Read.
Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains.
So he told everybody that was in Judea, when you see the signs of Rome coming, the generals Titus and Vespasian, when you see them coming with their armies, flee into the mountains, flee into Egypt. Read.
And let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let none them that are in the countries enter thereinto.
Right, so when you see that, don't go back into the country. Read.
For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. But woe unto them that are with child.
He says, woe unto them that are with child. Read.
And to them that give suck in those days.
Why? Why do you all think that he said, woe unto them that are with child and give suck in those days? Why? Because it's hard to travel on foot with children. It's hard to make that journey without provisions. It would be hard to make that journey in the wintertime. That's why we have to be ready in season, out of season. I know that kind of goes towards teaching, but it also goes into being prepared always. Always. You read on?
Luke chapter 21, verse 23. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. For there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
So when you read the from Babylon to Timbuktu, it actually recorded the history of what happened during 70 AD. 70 AD, Titus and Vespasian, two Roman generals, they came against Judea and they besieged it. I believe it was for, was it 5 or 7 years? Meaning, they didn't let anybody or anything in or out. And I was kind of thinking about this. Something similar happened here a few years ago. Can anybody think of what happened? It might have been maybe 5 years ago. Something similar to where people could not go in or come out. Yep, you had your hand up, brother? No, It was a particular storm. Yeah, what you got?
Shalom leadership.
Shalom.
Wasn't it like Hurricane Harvey or something like that?
No, it wasn't Hurricane Harvey. Anybody else? Your sisters, y'all got it? You pass it to Sister Eliza. Oh, how soon we forget.
Was it COVID-19?
No, it wasn't COVID-19. Hey, I give it to Aharon.
Hurricane Katrina.
Hurricane Katrina. Y'all forgot about that? Y'all forgot about Hurricane Katrina? Where the people, they were stuck in the, what's it called, the Superdome or whatever it is? And they couldn't cross the bridge. If they tried to go across the bridge, they would be shot. Y'all don't remember that? So remember, it says that he liketh his judgments to a ring. So the things that happened in the past, they happen again, over and over and over again. All right, from there, get me 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 5. 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 5.
2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 5.
Uh-huh.
Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things, in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and the righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually.
Jump down to verse 49.
Verse 49, I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, to waste thy houses with destruction and death.
Dang. So we understand that the Lord, he judges all that. So part of the famine, what typically happens during a famine? There's a lack of, right? So when there's a lack of, something happens that makes things more valuable. Yeah, what is it called? Anybody? Scarcity, there's another word. Now, you pass it to David. You want to see what David got. And what's the word?
My name is David. Inflation.
Inflation. So we saw an example of that with the eggs, right? There was a scarcity, a lack of, so now that drove the prices of goods up. Inflation. That's just like going to the grocery store now. I want to say I saw a graph that said 4 years ago, or I think around 2014, you could go to the grocery store and spend $100 on groceries and get everything that you need. Now you're spending upwards to $127 to $150 more. So inflation has happened. And that also goes back into the famine of not having the resources or the funds to be able to pay for things. Well, I want to say not too long ago, we had got some food or something, and it was super expensive. Like you're spending at least $15 to $20 on a meal, and that's for one person. I don't know how many of y'all eat fast food. Yep, I know some of y'all truck drivers do. But those things it's expensive nowadays, right? So inflation happens during a famine. And we're going to get some ways on how to prepare in a second, but we need to be able to prepare spiritually for these things. But from there, let's get the book of Genesis chapter 41 and verse 33.
Genesis chapter 41 and verse 33.
Let's go.
Now therefore let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise, and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the fifth part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years. And let them gather all the food of those good years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities. And that food shall be for store to the land against the 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land perish not through the famine.
Yeah, was that 36? Yes, sir. All right, so as you can see, these are the instructions that Joseph had to store up food for 7 years of plenty. So when the grocery stores, the foods and the goods were cheap, we should have been really stockpiling. And a lot of people, they're going to try to stock up now and end up spending a lot more money. But that's why it's important for us to prepare ahead of time versus waiting until the last minute when prices are continuously going up. Right? Now, get me Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 6.
Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 6.
And you're going to read through 8.
Let's go.
Go to the ant, thou sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise, which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provideth her meat in the summer, and gathereth her food in the harvest.
So even nature itself shows us the importance of preparation. It says, look to the ant, thou sluggard, meaning you have to compare yourself to the ant. And what characteristics do ants possess that we may not possess? Here is calling us sluggards, meaning lazy, slothful. But IT, you got the video? Yeah, was there more in that scripture? Okay. Yeah, IT, play that script or play the video.
Today, we embark on a fascinating journey into the world of ants, where a multitude of lessons and insights await us. So let's embark on this captivating exploration and discover the 7 life lessons we can learn from the ants. 1. Hard work and diligence. Ants are renowned for their tireless work ethic. They constantly gather food, build intricate structures, and care for their colony. Their dedication to their tasks reminds us of the importance of hard work and perseverance in achieving our goals. 2. Cooperation and teamwork. Ants work together seamlessly to accomplish complex tasks. They communicate and collaborate effectively, recognizing the significance of collective effort. Learning from ants, we understand the power of teamwork and how unity can lead to greater achievements. 3. Planning and organization. Ants exhibit remarkable organizational skills. They establish intricate systems such as foraging trails and division of labor, which optimize their efficiency. By observing their planning and organization, we can learn the importance of strategic thinking, setting goals, and developing structured approaches in our own lives. 4. Adaptability and resilience. Ants encounter various obstacles in their environment, from changing weather conditions to predators. However, they adapt quickly and find innovative solutions to overcome challenges. They demonstrate resilience and teach us the value of embracing change, adapting to new circumstances, and bouncing back from setbacks. 5. Selflessness and sacrifice. Ants prioritize the needs of their colony above their individual desires. They are willing to sacrifice personal comfort for the benefit of the community. Their selflessness teaches us about the importance of altruism, empathy, and considering the well-being of others. 6. Patience and long-term thinking. Ants are known for their long-term perspective. They store food during abundant times to prepare for periods of scarcity. This exemplifies patience and the ability to plan for the future. Learning from ants, we can cultivate patience and make wise decisions that benefit us in the long run. 7. Unity in diversity. Ant colonies are made up of individuals with different roles and responsibilities, and they work harmoniously together to ensure the survival and growth of the colony. Ants show us the power of embracing diversity and recognizing the unique strengths and contributions of each individual. Let their perseverance and cooperation inspire you to approach challenges in your own life with resilience and unity. And that concludes our journey into the fascinating world of ants. Remember, no matter how small or insignificant a task may seem, when we work together and embrace our unique strengths, we can achieve remarkable things. This is Inspire Wings signing off. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.
All right, all praises, all praises. So, they mentioned 7 characteristics of the lessons from ants. I'm going to give them to y'all. The first one was hard work and diligence. Hard work and diligence. The second one is cooperation and teamwork. The third one is planning and organization. If I'm going too fast, let me know. The fourth one is adaptability and resilience. The fifth one is selflessness and sacrifice. The sixth one is patience and long-term thinking. And the last one is unity and diversity. Unity and diversity. So go back and read Proverbs chapter 6, verse 6 again.
Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 6. Come on! Go to the ant, thou sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise.
So we have to consider the ways of the ant. We have to consider that the ant is hardworking and diligent, cooperating, and they use teamwork. They plan and organize. They adapt, and they're resilient. They're selfless, and they sacrifice. They're patient, and they're long-term thinkers, and there is unity in diversity. So these are things to where the Lord, he's trying to show us where we lack. Where we lack. Read on.
Verse 7. Which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provideth her meat in the summer.
He said that the ant, they don't have a guide or an overseer, but they do these things almost instinctively. And they provide meat in the summer, meaning that they prepare. They understand the seasons. They stock up, they store. Read.
Provideth her meat in the summer, and gathereth her food in the harvest. How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou art arise out of thy sleep?
So he's asking us, how long are we going to sleep? How long are we going to not prepare? How long are we going to wait for somebody else to provide it for us? Because a lot of people, I can guarantee you, a lot of people, they're going to wait and expect for the school to provide it for them. Or your brother or your sister. And I don't know about y'all, but I don't know. I'm just saying. It depends. It depends. who it is. You know, if Baruch come knocking on my door, I might, all right, bro, you know what I mean? But, hey, yeah, we have to be real with ourselves. You may not have enough to store up for, you know, an extra family. You just may not have it. But that's why it's important to prepare. And also, think about your brother. Think about your sister that may not be as fortunate as you are as far as having the financial means to do it. But that's still no excuse. That's still no excuse. Right. Why? Because there's food banks, there's different resources that are available to everybody. You just have to stop being a sluggard and get things done. That's what it boils down to. That's why he tells us to look at the ant. The ant is prepared. We got to be prepared too. So from there, give me up the book of Proverbs, chapter 21 and verse 20.
Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 20. There is treasure to be desired and oil in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man spendeth it up.
So it says there is treasure to be desired and oil in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man spendeth it up. What is he trying to say there? He's trying to say that wisdom keeps reserve and order. So by your wisdom, you should understand that you need to plan for the future, anticipate the hard times, use resources prudently, also use personal benefits, yeah, whatever the case may be. But the foolish person, they live for the immediate. They live for the now. They live for gratification instead of saving. All they do is spend. Yep, I know some people getting cut. Yep, I'm looking around because I've talked to a few brothers. And they can be very wasteful, the foolish. So you might have to ask yourself, am I the foolish? Or am I the ant? All right, from there, give me the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 40. And you're going to read to 45.
Second Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 40.
Let's go.
O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose. He that occupieth merchandise, as he that hath no profit by it, and he that buildeth, as he that shall not dwell therein. He that soweth, as if he should not reap, so also he that planteth the vineyard, as he that shall not gather the grapes. They that marry, as they that shall get no children, and they that marry not, as the widowers. And therefore, they that labor, labor in vain.
So what is this going into? Yep, are y'all asking, why did he pull this scripture? Read it again. 2nd Ezra 16, verse 40.
2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 40.
Come on.
O my people, hear my word.
Uh-huh.
Make you ready to the battle.
It says, make you ready for the battle. Prepare for the battle to come. Read.
And in those evils, be even as pilgrims upon the earth.
So we have to be pilgrims upon the earth. What does it mean to be a pilgrim? Somebody help me out. What does it mean to be a pilgrim? Pilgrims. Micah, what you got?
Yes, sir. A pilgrim is someone that's always on the go.
That's always on the go. I like that. I like that. So he's telling us to be prepared because evil times are coming, and there may just come a time to where you may have to leave your home. You may be homeless. How many of y'all ready for that? I got one hand. One person ready to be homeless. All right. Hey, at least y'all honest. You know what I mean? Right. Yeah, but go ahead. Read it again.
2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 40.
Uh-huh.
O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle. And in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth.
So we have to be pilgrims upon the earth. And as you can see, a lot of us not ready to be pilgrims upon the earth. So if something happened tomorrow and you were forced to leave your house, then guess what? You have no choice. How will you survive? Are you prepared like the ants? Have you not taken in the wisdom that leadership has been trying to teach us all this time? But read on.
Verse 41. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose.
So you have to be willing to lose it all, to walk away from it all. How many of y'all ready for that? You ever see one hand? She like, I'm ready to go. 2 hands. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so it looked like the sister's ready. Y'all, I guess brothers just go thug it out, huh? Would y'all go find what, an old log and try to live in an old log or something? Like, I don't know. Ain't no caves. So, yeah, what y'all go do, brothers? You got the sisters say they ready to make a move. Yeah, go ahead, read on.
Verse 42. He that occupieth merchandise, as he that hath no profit by it, and he that buildeth, as he that shall not dwell therein. He that soweth, as if he should not reap. So also he that planteth the vineyard, as he that shall not gather the grapes.
Meaning, you're going to have to walk away from your job. You're going to have to walk away from your livelihood. The things that you love to do, you're going to have to leave it. Read.
They that marry, as they that shall get no children. And they that marry not, as the widowers. And therefore they that labor, labor in vain.
So all of the things that you're doing that's not leading you in the direction of preparation, you're doing it in vain. Doing it in vain. That's what we have to see. And this class is meant to redirect your thinking to prepare you for the hard times to come. Right. From there, IT, get me the video, or I'm sorry, get me the pictures of the people. All right, look at this. This may be y'all. On your own. Yep, you just left your house. Why? Because you couldn't stay there because it got too bad in the city? And now guess what? Yep, you in the woods somewhere. Off of, I don't know, off of I-75. I don't know, somewhere. Or, maybe y'all found a park. How many of y'all know how to make fire? All right. Few hands. But how many of y'all actually have a bug out bag? All right, a few hands. Few hands. All right. All right, IT. Play the video. The prepper storage video. Yeah, that's the one.
I have been prepping for about 3 years now.
Pause
and
it,
I've
pause it,
acquired
pause it,
quite a
pause
few
it, pause it, pause it. He said that he has been prepping for 3 years. 3 years. And look at the amount of supplies he has. Go ahead, IT.
things. I've been getting ready for those natural disasters, economic disasters, political disasters. We stocked up on a lot of the short-term foods that you might use within 2-3 month period. Stocked up on your freezer foods, things you can store for a couple of years and don't have to worry about it. We've stocked up on home defense, family defense, self-defense. We got a lot of things that a lot of people just don't think about. A lot of times, a lot of people think it's pretty extreme. It certainly don't hurt to be ready for anything. You never know when your local water system's going to get contaminated. Even if you're on well water, something could spill and contaminate the groundwater. And having that long-term food for when you have to hunker down for a long time really helps. We have solar generators, we have backup batteries, we have solar panels, and we have power inverters. Plenty of toilet paper to combat that toilet paper shortage. Packing food away in Mylar is definitely something we did a lot of. Having go bags ready to go just in case you do have to go, it's also a definite thing you should be doing. Alternative ways to filter water is also a good thing. Stacking up on sriracha, most definitely.
All right. So he said he's been stocking up for 3 years, and look at the amount of supplies he has amassed. Now, everybody's storage will not look the same. Why? Because some people may value certain things more than others. Like, for example, some people may value guns and ammunition more than, I don't know, food. But only you know what you need to survive, right? Right. So, from there, now I'm really trying to put things into perspective for everybody, you know, because I know the thought is of some of you is my pantry, my storage, my supplies don't look like that. But let's get the book of Luke, chapter 22 and verse 36.
Luke chapter 22 and verse 36.
Let's go.
Then said he unto them, but now he that have a purse, let him take it, and likewise his scrip. And he that have no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one.
So he told us that we should sell our garment and buy a sword. Buy a sword. In today's language, a sword would be what? A firearm, right? A firearm. Now, don't get it from Rollo around the corner, you know, because he got the low prices, all right? Make sure that whatever you do it legally, lawfully, all right? If you are afraid of firearms, that's fine. That's fine. But as long as you get some type of personal protection, whether it's a taser, whether it's mace, bear mace, whatever the case may be, not a knife or whatever, but just have something to protect yourself. Why? Because during turbulent times, people are going to want what you have. And they're going to it's going to be by any means necessary that they're going to try to take it. Why? Because they didn't prepare. There's a video that I watched. I think it's called Wolf Preppers. How many of y'all are familiar with wolf preppers? Yeah, what's a wolf prepper, sis? Right, they're radical, meaning they didn't prepare, but they're prepared to take what you have. Those are wolf preppers. So meaning that they plan on surviving by the things that they take from people. That's their whole mindset. That's their whole goal. Their goal isn't to stock up and to prepare. No, their goal is to rob you of what you have. This is their ideology. This is their thought pattern. They're just going to rob and steal to get what they want. How many of y'all knew that? Y'all can see one hand. So now, guess what? That's where the firearms or the personal protection items come into play. Why? Because there's going to be people that are not going to prepare, and they're just going to go around taking from people. Why? Because they feel like they have a family, and they're going to kill, steal, do whatever they can to feed their family. They care nothing about you. They just want what you have. And that's reality. That's why in the city, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to maintain what you have. And it may be necessary that you bug out, that you leave and go somewhere else. That's why it's important. And of course, there's safety in numbers. There's safety in numbers. But give me Revelations chapter 12 and verse 14. Watch this.
Revelations chapter 12 and verse 14. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle.
Stop. So the woman here is talking about Israel. It says the woman was given 2 wings of a great eagle. Read.
That she might fly into the wilderness, into her place.
So right now, that woman is Israel, and we are in our place. Read.
Where she is nourished for a time, and times, and half a time, from the face of the serpent.
So we have been nourished here in America and abroad. We have been nourished by the serpent. And you may ask, how does he nourish us? Well, a lot of people are going to feel the effects because they just took away what? SNAP, food stamps, EBT, Section 8. Actually, yeah, IT, y'all got the pictures? Y'all just let me go. I set everything up for y'all. Y'all asleep back there? So November 2025, SNAP benefits will be unavailable due to federal government shutdown. Now, we understand that a lot of people depend on these benefits. A lot of people survive off these benefits. So now that these benefits are no longer going to be there, what do you think they're going to do? Right, they're going to steal. Whether it's from the liquor store, the grocery store, or from you, they don't care. Why? Because they have been being nourished by the serpent. Yeah, read that.
Revelations chapter.
Up there. Put it back up.
Bearing an end to the government shutdown, SNAP benefits will not be paid out in November, leaving tens of millions of recipients wondering how they're going to afford food next month. My own remaining SNAP balance, $149.57, was supposed to help carry my family until November 9th. Now it will have to stretch indefinitely.
So imagine having to live off of $149.57. See, a lot of us, we have become comfortable with being nourished by the serpent. It's just what it is. They say that there was like generations of women on Section 8, on food stamps, meaning they're on it, their mama was on it, their grandmama was on it. That's all they know. They never worked. And now, guess what? They didn't shut off the faucet. So now what do you think is going to happen? Yes, we said stealing. There's going to be a lot of people bartering. I think that's the nice way to put it, bartering. That's a nice way. All right. But these are the things to where we have to be serious. We have to be serious. Why? Because the things that was promised to us are not going to last. And then I've heard some people say that, oh, it's only going to be for a certain period of time. Like once they have seen that people can't make it, can't survive. I wouldn't bet on it. I would not bet on it.
Right.
Show the other pictures. Next one. I don't know if I wanted this one. Yeah, that's the one I wanted. Yeah, read that.
Medicare cuts 2025. A wake-up call for healthcare providers.
So Medicare, they're cutting Medicare as well. So I know a lot of people depend on Medicare, but they're making cuts to your medical insurance. Again, this all goes back to being nourished by the serpent. It says massive cuts to Medicaid spark uproar. Yeah, a lot of people are upset. Why? Because a lot of people didn't have to pay for Medicaid or Medicare. Section 8 housing vouchers being cut, meaning if you were on Section 8, there's a possibility that you could be homeless. I don't know, they look like the King homes. So what I'm talking about is not far-fetched. And we need to be taking these things much more serious. More serious. And like I said, we don't know how long this is going to last. So for people that only have maybe a few days worth of rations, that may not be enough. A week may not be enough. 2 weeks may not be enough. 3 months may not be enough. 6 months might not be enough. Yeah, we just don't know, but that's why we have to prepare. We have to prepare like we don't know how long it's going to last.
Bring it out.
Now let's get into being spiritually prepared. Let's get the book of Isaiah chapter 55 and read verse 6. 6 and 7.
Isaiah chapter 55 and verse 6.
Let's go.
Seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts. And let him return unto the Lord, and he will have mercy upon him, and to our God, for he will abundantly pardon.
So everybody out there that has their secret sins, boyfriend on the side, girlfriend on the side, jump off, sneaky link, I don't know, what's some other words? You hear me, brothers? Help me out. Huh? Side piece. Sugar daddies. So it's saying Yeah, read it again. Read it again.
Isaiah chapter 55 and verse 6.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get it. Isaiah 55 and 6. All right, go ahead.
Seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his way.
It says, let the wicked forsake his ways, meaning whatever you're doing in secret, stop. Read.
And the unrighteous man his thoughts.
Uh-huh.
And let him return unto the Lord, and he will have mercy upon him.
So that's what we all want. We all want that mercy. But in order to receive that mercy, we have to forsake our evil ways. We have to stop. Read.
And to our God, for he will abundantly pardon.
So it says that our God will abundantly pardon us if we forsake it. We have to come back to him. From there, give me Psalms chapter 37, verse 18 and 19.
Psalms chapter 37 and verse 18.
Come on.
The Lord knoweth the days of the upright, and their inheritance shall be forever.
So the upright, those are the ones that's keeping the commandments. He says that he knows us. Read.
They shall not be ashamed in the evil time.
Uh-huh.
And in the days of famine, they shall be satisfied.
He says in the time of famine, the upright will be satisfied. Meaning we're going to have enough. We're going to have enough in the days of famine. But those of us who are in the midst of sin, can't get right, I don't know. Is it more on that? All right, from there, give me the book of, let's get the book of Acts chapter 2 and verse 44 and 45. So the ones that walk uprightly, meaning keeping God's commandments, those are the ones that will be sustained in famine. All right, read what you got.
Acts chapter 2 and verse 44.
Come on.
And all that believed were together and had all things common, and sold their possessions and goods, and parted them to all men as every man had need.
So in crisis, Israel, we have to unite. We have to come together.
Right.
It says sharing resources and looking out for one another. That's what God expects us to do. Share our resources, share our knowledge. Because everybody in here has a gift. I'm pretty sure some of you all have gifts that I don't even know about, that you don't even use in the body. Read verse 45 again.
Acts chapter 2 and verse 45. And sold their possessions and goods, and parted them to all men as every man had need.
That's heavy. Because how many of us would be willing to sell what access we have, what access of goods to have in order for others to have something? Yeah, but you don't have to. That's kind of rhetorical. Like, you know what I mean? I want people to think about it. I don't know, maybe y'all not there yet. Yeah, maybe you like, what's mine is mine. Get your own, punk. But we have to think about these things. We have to think about these things. All right, from there, let's get the book of Joel chapter 2 and verse 12 and 13. So we have to be ready spiritually. We have to be ready spiritually. Read on.
The book of Joel, chapter 2, and verse 12.
Let's go.
Therefore also now, saith the Lord, turn ye even to me with all your heart, and with fasting, and with weeping, and with mourning, and rend your heart and not your garment, and turn unto the Lord your God, for he is gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and of great kindness, and repent of him of the evil.
So spiritual fasting helps purify and prepares us for our trials. Now, during the time of a famine, if you're not prepared, I guess you ain't going to have no choice. It's going to be an involuntary fast. And what's crazy is some of y'all need it because a lot of us in Israel don't fast at all. Don't fast whatsoever. But that's why the Lord has created the famine for people that refuse to fast.
Right.
From there, give me the book of Mark, chapter 14, verse 7. Book of Mark, chapter 14, verse 7. Come on.
Mark chapter 14 and verse 7.
Come on.
For ye have the poor with you always, and whensoever ye will, ye may do them good. But me ye have not always.
So we always will have the poor. Everybody in here isn't rolling in the dough. You know, a lot of us are paycheck to paycheck. We understand that. The poor will always be with us. But remember this, there's strength in numbers. There's strength in numbers. But also, you can't just say, oh, I show up for the Sabbath, so now I want everybody to help me. Do people know you? Do you do works in the body? What's your stat? Like, do you have a good name? Do you have a good reputation? These are things to where a lot of times people just play church. This is not church.
Right.
This is not church. Drop that. Give me Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. So it says that the poor you always have with you. Hey, IT, bring up the pictures. Y'all just asleep back there, man. Just let me go on. No pictures. Give me the one with the forgotten harvest. Right. So, excuse of people use, they would say, well, I can't afford to stock up. Yeah, go back to the first one. So this one, this is the Detroit Friendship House, Client Choice Food Pantry. So there are food pantries in your area. You may have to search out for it. And there was a video that came out today. IT, I'm going to send it to you. Yeah, who you want me to send it to? Who's logged in? Class content? All right. I don't know how many of you all saw. Wait a minute. How many of you all saw this? All right, I just sent it. So, since EBT and all of these cuts have been made, food stamps, this is what the city is doing. Yeah, when you have it, IT, go ahead, put it up. I haven't listened to all of it, but yeah, why did you get that? Read Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1.
Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1. Gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
So we're supposed to gather together. Why? Because we are that nation that's not desired. Not desired how? There's this thing called black fatigue. Other nations are tired of us. Hell, our own people are tired of us. We are that nation that's not desired. Read on.
Before the decree bring forth,
Uh-huh.
before the day pass as the chaff,
Before those ICBMs hit, read.
before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you,
So before the fierce anger of the Lord comes upon us, read.
before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you,
Come on.
Seek ye the Lord.
Do what?
Seek ye the Lord.
It says, seek ye the Lord. Read.
All ye meek of the earth.
So meek, being meek, they said that Moses was meek. Meek means to be obedient, obedient to the word of God. That's how we have to be. We have to forsake our own ways and be obedient to the Lord. Read on.
Seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be ye shall be hid in the day of the Lord's anger.
So that's how we want to be. We want to be hid. We want to be hid from our enemies. Right. In that day. Now, that's talking about the destruction, but also just in times of trouble in general. We want it to pass us over. There may come a time to where during the famine, they hitting up houses and they skip your house. All praises to the Father. Why? Yeah, because you keeping the commandments. Right. Yep, you just never know. All right, y'all ready? All right, go ahead and put that up.
Hello, Detroit. I want to tell you this afternoon what the city is doing to set up an emergency food distribution network next week in the event that the SNAP benefits are reduced. And I think, as many people know, you get a monthly bridge card once a month. The funding goes out of the card that allows you to buy the groceries for that month. And starting in the next few days, if the Democrats and Republicans in D.C. don't stop fighting with each other, the people of this country are going to have their food benefits cut off, and we are going to act in Detroit to make sure there's not a food crisis in our city. As I'm taping this at 2:30 on Friday afternoon, a court has ruled to try to slow them down. But as we've seen in the federal government last year, court rulings are frequently reversed, and so everybody in the city is moving full speed ahead. What you see in front of you is the city's emergency response team, the same folks who responded when the water main broke last winter in Southwest Detroit, who did the response in the pandemic during COVID. And they've been meeting for the last week. And on Wednesday, I authorized $1.75 million to go to purchase food for the people of the city. I'm going to talk to you about what we're going to do to get that distributed. And let me just talk about the team that has come together here. So Adrian Lewis, who runs Forgotten Harvest, the great distribution center, we have allocated them $770,000 along with Gleaners to buy the kind of dry goods, cereal, bread, canned goods that you need. Next to Adrian is Chad Techner, who runs the Metro Food Rescue System. And Chad is going to deliver you the produce because they have healthy meals. We have to do both, and we are going to mix the produce with the dry goods to our sites. We're going to have that up and running. There is only $1.75 million that I have the legal authority to do without council action, but Tanya Staudenmeier, our chief financial officer, and Julie Schneider, our housing director, found the money from federal and state grants that we could move immediately, and that will get us through next week. I'm very pleased about the fact that if it goes any longer, Councilman James Tate has promised to be the champion, because we are going to need city council authority to fund this in the long term, and I'm glad we have the councilman ready to move quickly. 50% of our challenge is buying food. The other 50% is getting it out to the food pantries so that thousands of families that weren't food insecure last week can get what they need without long delays. And so I'm really pleased that Tony Stovall and Josh Roberson from the city's Department of Neighborhoods are going to be responsible for the overall coordination. I expect them to have 100 distribution sites up and running next week if they're needed. I am really glad that Wanda Bowman from the Detroit Area Agency on Aging will be partnering with Crystal Perkins from the General Services Department. And we are going to activate recreation centers across the city of Detroit as additional food distribution sites. If we go on beyond a week, We are going to need the philanthropic community to pitch in. It is going to be a huge expense in the city, and the nonprofits and the corporations have been tremendous partners before, and Terry Daniels from the Grants Management Office will be reaching out, and we hope we have the same kind of support we always have. The overall coordination will be done by Tricia Stein, our Chief Strategist, by Tim Stark, the Deputy Chief of Staff, and all coordinated by Deputy Mayor Malia Howard. I never thought I would see the day that the toxic relationship between the two parties was so bad that they would use food for needy families as a political lever. But that's where we are. And if they don't act and the courts don't make them behave, we will have a financial crisis or food crisis all across this country. And I just want to say thank you to every one of the people in this room, because while the rest of Detroit may be out trick-or-treating or watching football or enjoying the fall weekend, this group will be here building out an emergency food distribution network. And if we get to Monday and the problem hasn't been solved, I'll come back to you and let you know where the food pantries are located, what the hours are, and how you access them, so the people of this city won't be going hungry. So we'll be back to you on Monday, and thank you to all of you for what you're doing.
All right. So that's what the city of Detroit is doing for people who no longer are receiving their SNAP benefits. So, like I was saying, there is no excuse for not being able to prepare. It's just that now what you're going to face is possibly longer lines if you don't get there early. Combative individuals, people willing to fight and take the things that you have. Why? Because they panic and they don't know when the next time they'll be able to get food. So right now is a very trying times. And so if those of you that do plan on going out, just make sure that you are safe. Safe because people will take what you have. Why? Because they have lack thereof, right? All right, from there, give me the book of Jeremiah, chapter 29 and verse 28.
Jeremiah, chapter 29 and verse 28.
Let's go.
For therefore he sent unto us in Babylon, saying, this captivity is long. Build ye houses, and dwell in them, and plant gardens, and eat the fruit of them.
So he says, while we're in Babylon, so this was a prophecy. He says, while we're in Babylon, build ye houses and dwell in them and plant gardens. How many people have a garden? See a couple hands on the brother side. Sisters, yep, I know some of y'all got gardens. So this was an order. Yeah, we were commanded to execute this. Why? The Lord wants us to be somewhat self-sufficient because he knew that one day the SNAP benefits would be cut. The EBT would be cut. The Section 8 would be cut. The food stamps would be cut. So now that it's here, we can't be slack in getting things done.
Right.
IT, yeah, what I got y'all holding? All right, yeah, play the prepper video.
The case may be, it could be a small scale situation, but that small scale situation can spread through a larger area very quickly depending upon what it is. So if you have a group of people that are working together, that should to a certain extent level.
So he says a group of people working together, that's gathering yourself together, working together to achieve a common goal. It also goes back to look to the ant, right? Unity. Why? Because we all have diverse gifts that we possess that can add to the body that can help one another. But one of the things that I know that Israel lacks is step 5. If you all were writing them down, step 5, selflessness and sacrifice. I think Israel has a hard time with being selfless and sacrifice, meaning what? Putting others above yourself. Putting others above yourself. But gathering yourselves together, that's what's going to get things done. And the thing is, it may not benefit you, but the thing is, we're supposed to look towards the benefit of others. Hence, in return, when you need the help, guess what? It'll come to you. But when you have the mindset of me, then guess what? Nothing gets done. The work suffers. Things don't get accomplished on time. Because regardless, the work's going to get done, whether you help or not. From there, play the video.
This time, I had the kids with me while we go grocery shop in the pantry. I had this shirt on last time I went to the pantry. This must be a pantry shop shirt. Fell in the hole.
Hey, pause it. It says, come with me and the kids to grocery shop in the pantry on the family compound. She's going shopping in her pantry. All right, continue.
We're going to the shed. Open up the gate. Open the gate for me. Thank you. Go, Jax. You got some of them at home. The bag. This one? Give me, not that one. Give me that one, yeah.
I think that's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. But guess what? I'm pretty sure that it took hard work and dedication to do that. And it didn't just happen overnight. They have a family compound. Now, they didn't say how many families they had. But guess what? Working together, we can get anything accomplished. But it takes those things that the ant was trying to show us, the hard work and diligence, the cooperation and teamwork, the planning and organization, the adaptability and resilience, the selflessness and sacrifice, the patience and long-term thinking, and unity and diversity. Do you have those things? Or what are you lacking? You need to find out so that you can fix it. Because as the saying goes, winter is coming. Winter is coming. Right. From there, get me Sirach chapter 29 and verse 21.
Sirach chapter 29 and verse 21.
Come on!
The chief thing for life is water.
The chief things in life are water, read,
and bread,
and bread,
and clothing,
and clothing,
and an house to cover shame.
And a house to cover shame. So these are the essentials that everyone should have. And we should start building self-reliant structures based off of this. Based off of the chief things in life. At IT, play the Play the next video.
How do you even start a family compound without being rich and owning 100 acres? That is the #1 question, and honestly, it's not about being rich, it's about being intentional. We didn't start with a mansion and a farmland, we started with campers, and here's our old hookups. Shared vision, a little land, and a lot of do-it-yourself. We lived in campers for a year while we built 4 houses, and we are not rich, we are just normal people. We have 4 families, and we bought 30 acres all together, and then we split it between the 4 families. Once parcels are created, you can deed land to each family. If there's a shared driveway, well, or utilities, it's smart to record an easement. On our homestead, we have 1 house, 2 houses, and 3 houses all the way down there. And then way down in the woods, we have our 4th house. Together we raise goat. Goat milk tastes amazing, and it's much easier to digest than cow's milk. Went to local bee classes and started raising our own honeybees at home, and we got 165 pounds of honey last year. So rewarding. Raising our own beef cow. Here is our meat rabbit tractor. There is no other meat you can grow at home so quickly as meat rabbits. Raising meat rabbits is so much easier than raising chickens, and they taste amazing. Here is our herb garden where we grow a lot of herbs to make tinctures. My sister, she raises ducks instead of chickens for eggs. All have attached greenhouses on our houses so that we can grow anything year round. Let me know what questions you have about starting your own family compound or homestead, and follow along for more tips.
Let me ask a question. How many of y'all think y'all can do that? Every hand should go up. Why? Because we Israel, we're the greatest people on the planet. These are things that we should be looking at doing. Getting land, building homes, right, having gardens. Right. Skip the rabbits. Yeah, we ain't eat no rabbit meat. We in this building. Yeah, we could do the chickens, but we not doing the rabbits. All right. But these are things that we can do. You may not be able to do it by yourself, but together it's possible. Hell, if Esau can do it, I know we can do it. I know we can do it. But it's going to take the characteristics of the ant, the hard work and diligence, cooperation, teamwork, planning, adaptability, selflessness, patience, unity, and diversity. It's going to take those things. From there, give me Psalms 91. Psalms 91 and read verse 10. Psalms 91 and start at verse 1.
Psalms chapter 91 and verse 1.
Come on!
He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence.
So we want to be delivered from the noisome pestilence. Read.
He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day.
That's the destruction. Read.
Nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness.
The pestilence that walketh in darkness. Read.
Nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee.
Why? Why do you all think that it's not going to come near us? It's because we trust in the Lord. We use His truth as a shield and buckler. Right. The truth is the commandments. Right. We keep the commandments of God. Read.
Verse 8. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. Because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation.
Read.
There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling.
So, read that last verse again, 10.
Verse 10. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling.
So, it says, There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. Why? We trust in the Lord. We keep the commandments. We have relinquished sin. We working on or striving to be perfect. And when we do that, we understand that the Lord, he will fight for us. But we have to do our part, and we have to be obedient, meek. In doing so, he told us, build ye houses, dwell in them, plant gardens and vineyards. It's not too late. We can still get this thing done. Yeah, we almost done. Give me Psalms chapter 33 and verse 18 and 19.
Psalms chapter 33 and verse 18.
Let's go.
Behold, the eye of the Lord is upon them that fear him, upon them that hope in his mercy, to deliver their soul from death and to keep them alive in famine.
So the Lord, he wants to keep us alive during the famine. But again, we have to do our part. Look to the ant, you sluggard. And I'm speaking to everybody, even myself, because I know that I can be further along than what I am. So each and every one of you has it in you to do. But everybody does not believe. As we read in Luke chapter 21, when Jerusalem was compassed with armies, millions of people stayed behind. Why? They didn't believe. It's going to be millions of people that know that they Israel. Sit here and listen class after class after class about getting things in order, having a bug out bag, being prepared, and will not do it. Those are the people we can't help. I can only help those that help themselves, that are in line with what leadership has established. Why? Because the Lord put it in their spirit to do. And they are the examples. That's just like leadership. We have to be examples for y'all. If we weren't doing it, how can we go out here and tell y'all to do it? Right. We can't. That would be called what? A hypocrite. Give me that in, what's that? Samuel 2:2. Speak ye no more exceedingly proud.
First Samuel chapter 2 and verse 3.
Come on!
Talk no more so exceeding proudly. Let not arrogancy come out of your mouth. For the Lord is a God of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed.
So with the Lord, actions are weighed. Actions are weighed. He don't care what you talking about. He want to see if you are about it. A song just popped in my head that it was a versus. It was Cash Money against No Limit. Yeah, how many of y'all remember that song, About It? Master P. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, my mom works funny like that. Y'all about it? But the Lord wants to see if y'all are about it. So how many of y'all are going to dedicate the time and the effort to put in on your pantries, to put in on your bug out bag, like to put in the time to research land and getting with brothers, sisters getting with sisters, like to make these things that we have seen a reality, because one thing that we know is that the judgment is going to continue to happen. It's not going to let up. Why? Because the Lord, he's trying to show us something. And if any of you all know, like I know, a lot of times when we go through trials, the longer we stay in the trial is because we're not learning from it. You're supposed to go through a trial, learn from it. You come out of that trial stronger, better. But a lot of times we'll stay in that continuous loop. Why? Because we didn't learn from the trial. That's how Israel is. We're stuck in that circle of judgment until we can fix ourselves. So that's my class. I hope that everybody was edified. If you have questions, yeah, we can go over some questions. But that's my time. Shalom, Most High in Christ bless.
Across the earth, the prophets move. From city streets to distant lands, the message is the same. Israel must rise. Through every quest, every journey, the truth spreads. No border can contain it. No distance can silence it. Our nation lives in every moment. In joy, we celebrate marriages. In sorrow, we honor our dead. On the Sabbath, we gather as one. Families rejoicing together, bound by the commandments of God. Yet are we tried. From the stones in Kenya to the hatred in Montana, we endure as a soldier of the Lord. And still, the mission expands. On the airwaves, on the screens, in every nation under heaven, Israel's voice is heard. We build our communities. We raise our children in royalty. We restore what was broken. We clean what was defiled. We show the world who we are. This is Israel united in Christ. Nation in motion. Nation endured.